Welcome to another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Wally. And today I'm so excited to have on a 38-year-old from St. Louis, USA. He is another Western Michigan Bronco and has legendary status around campus, becoming a CCHA champion in his senior year of 2011-12, and he pretty well won everywhere he went. Two-time USA Junior B national champion, then became a two-time NAHL champion with his hometown St. Louis Bandits, and for fun ran amok being named the gosh darn tournament MVP. Then did his thing with the Broncos for 4 years, helping them turn the program around. Then mucked it up for 3 years of pro hockey in the Southern Pro Hockey League, the Central Hockey League, and the East Coast. But he may be better known for what he's doing in the coaching world. The very next season, after hanging him up, he started helping the puppies of St. Louis with the 16U AAA squad. He's been doing it every year since 2015-16 and is currently the head coach of the 18U AAA squad. And on the side, he scouts and is a skills coach. Welcome on, Kyle O'Kane.
Hey,
How'd
thanks
I
for having me. Quite the intro there.
how'd I do? All right.
Oh, it was great.
It's
It was
pressure every
great.
time.
I bet. Yeah. Yep.
Well, I get into how we know each other. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. No, nice to meet you. Obviously, always nice to meet a Bronco brother.
Absolutely.
We
Broncos are
weren't there.
brothers, eh? Like,
They
there's
are,
not many
man.
teams out there in the world, any programs, any whatever you want to call it. There's not many brothers like Broncos.
No. I mean, I go to the golf outing every year and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And even this weekend, I was there this weekend. I saw three or four of my teammates that I played with. So it was like, it's pretty cool.
That is cool. I actually went back, not this season, but the start of the season that they won the national championship, and the Broncos are national champions, aren't they?
Insane. I
It
mean,
is.
how about in St. Louis for me was
Right.
it was the coolest sports moment that like I ever got to see. Like I've seen the Cardinals win. Obviously, I got to see the Blues win in 2019. Um, but seeing the Broncos win live at, the
In
NHL rink that I grew up watching, and my roommate is the assistant coach. First was my coach when I played. Like it was really cool. I got to bring my kid in the locker room. My 2-year-old son. So I mean, I don't think it can get much better unless for some reason my son's a Bronco. Like that
right.
could be, yeah, it might be better. But
Uh,
crazy to think, right? From when you left, and even when I was there, my freshman and sophomore year, like we weren't we weren't we weren't very good.
we weren't good enough, that's for sure. No, it's weird for me because when I was recruited there, the year I got recruited, um, they were ranked like top 10 in the country. And I thought I didn't know much about NCAA or which teams were perennially good other than like Michigan, Michigan State, and the ones you hear about. But once I signed with them or committed, shoot, like nearly every year we were getting worse.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I mean, it's tough, right? Anyone can win every night. Like there's college hockey's it's a tough game, right? I
oh yeah.
remember when we were quote unquote, not very good. I think it was my sophomore year, maybe my freshman year. Michigan was whatever top five team, and we beat them. I mean, they outshot us probably 50-15. But we played well that game. Our goalie played well, and we won.
Yeah, man. Beating Michigan's a heck of a time, and same with Michigan State,
Yeah,
all those schools. And then, we were always known as, the underdogs, the Broncos, that we're
oh yeah,
going into University of Michigan. And now,
yeah,
man, now we're the big dogs.
yeah. No, we really are. I mean, what they've done ever since both of us has left it's been awesome. I mean, a
It
lot
really
of guys
has.
going to the NHL. Um,
Yeah.
so I love seeing it. The place was electric Saturday night. I mean, we had to get standing room only tickets. Like I thought, like a month ago, I was getting call in. I'm like, hey, I need to get some tickets for my guys, and he's like, we're sold out, and I'm like, the ticket guy's Matt Folk. I don't know if he was around when you were there.
No, I actually
Um,
tried to set something up with them a year ago when I was interested in taking my under 13 boys to a Bronco game. But then when I
Yeah.
looked at the cost and the price and what I'd be asking of the parents and families to pay, and I knew it'd mean a lot more to me. But if those kids, if they see an NCAA game, like these Canadian kids, that a lot of them haven't seen it. When I went and saw my first NCAA game, I was like, I have to do this. I'm not going to the OHL. I'm going NCAA. You know? Oh boy, you're frozen. Game Game back on. Yeah, he is in a basement of an arena, folks. So we're doing the best we can.
That's right.
What we were talking about, I don't know how cool it was the Broncos won, but I guess I'll just carry on. But when I went back to that golf tournament, it was my first time back in 18 years. Um, there
Wow.
were some hurt feelings reports when my class was done. A few of the classes before too, and um, you know, a lot of us hadn't made it back. And when I did, and it was three of the fellows that were two classes ahead of me that asked me to be in their foursome. Um, it was so much fun getting back into the Bronco family, and nothing's changed, and all the guys are still such beauties, and getting to see
Yeah.
everybody again was so amazing. And then when I met Fersh and we talked about it, and I said like nobody's been coming back in my generation, and he said we need to change that. We need to get everybody back. We need to get all the brothers back. And man, winning that national championship got group chats fired up from all my years. I was
Oh
talking to
yeah.
seniors when I was a freshman. I was talking to guys in my class, and then I was talking to my freshies when I was a senior, and all the group chats were fired up. And
Oh
man,
yeah.
it was electric.
Dude, it was. I was the same thing. It was cool. Those guys just run such a good program. Like the way they work, and they're smart guys, smart hockey guys, obviously, and beauties as well. I mean, off the ice, you couldn't ask for better coaching staff. Even though, like, obviously, our time we had really good guys, really good people, that were there in our time. But what a job that Frisch and his group has done. I mean, and they continue to keep going, right? It's I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, and that like
they're not
then you
slowing
see
down,
this transfer portal like that wasn't a thing when we played.
right?
Now you see like Western Michigan's the destination. That's where people want to go because they see all
Yep.
these guys making the NHL and they're winning. And then you see
Yeah.
the Lawson Lunatics. Man, there's no better place to play hockey.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting with the new building to see what we can do too. I mean, first was showing me some videos and things. It's $500 million or something like that,
I
which
know, but I just don't know if I'm bought into this because I love Lawson Ice
well,
Arena and the Lunatics,
yeah,
and it's on
I
campus.
do.
They can all pregame in the
Yeah,
dorms or their apartments, then walk over, and it's
right.
going to be different going downtown, man.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think it will be. Hopefully they can still continue to have the lunatics be enforced because that's an advantage, as you know. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
playing in Michigan's cool. Definitely loved playing in Yost. Michigan State was cool, but play at Western, it's something about playing in like just a crazy barn,
oh
right?
yeah.
It's just wild. You never know. The fans are insane.
Well, and like,
Um,
how many other places are letting in half an arena for free for students?
right,
Like,
right.
and
And
this
show up.
yo and loud.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know how I'm going to pull it off. I'm a busy guy, and both my kids are in minor hockey. But uh, I hear this is the last year in Lawson, and man, if I'm going to go back to watch the Broncos, I want it to
Yeah,
be in Lawson. I don't want it to be in the new arena
yeah.
because
One more
it's.
year.
Is there one more year?
Yeah, so next year they'll be in it. Will be the last year.
Okay, so I got a little grace period here.
You got a little bit of time. Let me know because maybe we can just plan to go at the same time.
Seriously, like I think it would be really fun to get a bunch of the fellows back together. But
Yeah,
it'd also be cool to take my kids and let them see what it was about. And like, first, what a beauty! Like the type of guy you want running your program. Like when I met him at the golf
yeah.
tournament, or no, actually, I had him on when I had him on the podcast. Farm boost. I have him on at the start of the season, and then we become national champions.
That's right. Yeah, had to be the pond.
It had to have been. But he said
Love it.
after we talked on the pod, he told me after hours, he's like, man, if you can make it down, your son can be in there for the pregame speeches. He can be right in the room. And I'm like, oh my
Yeah,
God, that would be something.
for sure.
Because the
Yeah,
little punk's been walking around in Michigan State shit. I can't believe it.
Oh, that's not good. We
Makes me
can't
want
have
to
that.
puke, man. I don't think he
Yeah.
understands what he's doing.
No, he doesn't. He's too young, but he'll get there.
You would think so. God. But like, and then you see all the kids around town. Like, if they have any NCAA sweater, it's University of Michigan. And I'm like,
Yeah.
do you know how ugly your sweater is, kid?
Yeah, exactly. I get a lot of Notre Dame or Michigan kids kind of walking around in here. I'm like, hey, you're wearing the wrong school. Where's the
Absolutely.
Broncos at? You know?
And I think Notre Dame has like a new arena, but like when I played there, it was in the
Yeah.
field house where there's like people doing track around it. The arena just
Yeah.
had a curtain around it.
Yeah. My freshman year, I remember that. It was like a gymnastics area and then like the rink was on the side. Like
I
now
think
it's nice.
when I'm Canadian and you see Rudy and stuff and you think, oh my God, I'm going to play the University of Notre Dame, and then you show up and it's in the like gymnastics area with a curtain around it, and you're like, oh my
Yeah.
God, this is not what I
Yeah.
expected.
No, it's no loss and that's for sure.
No. So I guess I'll just do some name dropping here since we do know some of the same guys.
For sure.
But one thing about Broncos is like once you've been a Bronco, you're a Bronco forever. And like, you know, it was weird because we didn't do what I wanted when I was there, which pisses me off. But you did help the freshmen when you're a senior, and it just keeps going down the line of Broncos being brothers.
Right.
And my freshies, when I was a senior, my puppies were then you were their puppy, and your last year were with
Oh,
my freshies. So Frank the Tank,
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
he is Western
Beast.
Michigan legend.
Legend, legend. He was our captain, obviously, my freshman year. Yeah, what a beauty that guy was.
I taught him everything I knew, and but I've never seen anything like it. When he showed up freshman year, and he's got long hair, and he's just a beefcake.
Yeah.
And,
Oh yeah.
man, he was crushing people. I've never seen such big body checks. The one
No, I
that's on
agree.
YouTube that was at the University of Michigan's been seen like hundreds of thousands of times. Man, like he was hitting guys harder than anybody, but then old school just came out, perfect timing, that the whole arena would chant Frank the Tank when he'd get a
Yeah,
big hit.
I
And
know. I
man, he was a
know.
legend. Like his first month or two
Legend.
at the school, he was a legend.
Right. Yeah, I mean, what a great guy to learn from too. He was a real professional, obviously, being our captain and just I mean, showed us the ropes off on the ice, how to handle yourself. And
I tried to do the same for him.
yeah, obviously being freshman or freshman, right? So you don't know what you don't know, and we had a good class, my class, so we liked to have a lot of fun. So, Frank had to pull us in a couple times and smack us around, I'm sure.
Mm. And other guys that would have been there that were my freshies. Silky smooth Steve Silver.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, it was a good buddy of mine. I actually lived with him my freshman year, like over the summer, and I just saw him in St. Louis for the
He
Natty Champ.
he
Yeah,
he was sending me photos, and then he
yeah,
came
he
on the
was
pod,
down.
and we
Yeah.
had a pod right around then, and he
Oh
sent
man,
me
yeah,
the
he was
pictures with the
there.
trophy. It was
Yeah,
crazy.
his boy was there too, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was. I mean, what a great guy Silky is too. I mean, just all around personality right there. That guy.
he's just a good dude. And
Sure.
then Patrick Gallivan, your freshman year would have been his big year then, eh?
Yeah, he was unstoppable that year. A little surprised that I feel like if he would have done not like do that now, like lead, let's say the NCHC in scoring, like he's played some NHL games at some point, right? Like
Mm.
I felt like we were kind of obviously didn't get all that respect yet. And we were in a good league, CCHA, right? And he
No,
led
I
the league
know.
in scoring. And I think he got some A games, but it
He
wasn't
didn't
like
get a real chance, right? It
he
was
didn't
like,
get a fair shot. And I
yeah,
thought to myself, I'm like, well, I'm sitting here freshman, and the next year summer, I'm like, what more do you got to do if you're trying to, eventually make it? Like he led the thing in scoring, and but yeah, me and Gally, we were pretty good buddies. Him being from Chicago and St. Louis, we used to chirp about Cubs, Cardinals, and all
oh
that
yeah.
fun stuff. So yeah, I
It
still keep in touch with
it
him.
is a thing though. Like you're hitting home with me because when I was, I guess, I ended my sophomore year, we had a great class two above me. Jeff Campbell, doesn't get much of a shake out of college when he was the rookie of the year in the CCHA a couple years earlier, then plays hurt for years with his groins and maybe doesn't put up the same numbers. But then he gets
Right.
healthy and goes pro, and he's the East Coast MVP his rookie year. And then you see Dana Lattery, who was our captain and just a horse and one of the best net front guys around. And you're thinking, man, how are these guys? But winning takes people places. Winning gets
Oh
people
yeah.
places because if you're not playing in those big games in front of all those scouts at the end of the year, and it's like for myself, there was a year I put up 50 points at Western, and
Wow.
I got a one-way HL deal out of school, and I mean that was pretty good. But then you see
Yeah.
some of these other guys on other teams signing deals, and you're like, man,
They got 30 points,
yeah,
but
yeah.
they were in the, I agree. It's
It's nice to see it's changed and that
for
Broncos are
sure.
getting like you see the Washi last year going
Yeah.
straight from the winning the championship to the
To the
NHL.
NHL.
And you're like,
Yeah.
oh baby, here we go. Broncos are
Yeah.
doing her now.
Yeah. And I don't know if Bumper's got a chance yet either. Obviously, but he's getting a really good shake in the American League where he's actually getting to play. And I think the last time I looked, he was ripping it up. So, I
Ice
mean,
time's a
from,
thing once you get to pro, and if you're not at the top of their list of guys to play, it takes a lot to earn your way up the lineups.
oh, for sure. And obviously, when you're in an era where there's, when we played, or at least when I played, there was a couple lockouts and guys were getting dropped down, and it was just a little bit different than it is now. But the guys that I played with, I mean, I played with Wachowski, Osterley, um, DeKaiser, gosh, drawing
Well,
some
you
blanks here,
guys
but
were the ones that changed it. Those
that's
guys
eventually
changed it,
when
right?
I mean, guys were going straight to the NHL, and it kind of was the Blashill and Furch and Murray type of way, right? Obviously, Andy Murray did a great job with the program,
Well, you
and
got to be ready for pro when you get there, right?
yeah,
I had played some man-on-man defense in college, and then when I got to the AHL and my first practice, I played man-on-man defense in our D zone, and the coach stopped the play and was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "It's not man-on-man around here." And then, then he didn't trust me, and it was hard to get a
mhm,
chance. But
sure,
Witkowski's been on the show before, and that guy's a
yeah.
beauty, and he's still doing it.
Oh, he's still doing it. And talk about a tough nose guy, man. I mean, he laid some big hits. I mean, obviously you've probably seen some of his fights and stuff, but good guy to have in your corner.
For
Tony,
sure.
I call him Tony. Funny story about him, right? He's kind of like an ogre type of guy, right? Big witter. And me and him were sitting in our living room, we're watching a hockey game or whatever, and on my coffee table is engraved, like someone like engraved the name Tony, right? And we probably got this, you know how it is. End of the semester, people drop stuff off free, take it. Probably pick this coffee table up from somewhere down the street. Anyways, he looks over at me, dead serious, and he goes, "Who's Tony?" I don't know. And we just start busting out laughing. And ever since that moment, I just called him Tony. I'm like, you're gonna be Tony from now on. But what a
So
great
some of the
guy.
nicknames you get in college,
For sure.
yeah, oh yeah. But no, it's fun for me doing this. People probably wonder why I take the time and do this for free, and it's a fun hobby. Was I missed hockey and I missed my friends, and talked to a lot of them. You're nearly episode 500, but when I get to
Awesome.
meet other Broncos that were after me or before me, man, it's just weird how we're all kind of cut from the same cloth.
Yep, I agree. We're all kind of connected and a lot of similar stories and just
Well, and
miss
then
each
when
other.
I make it back to another golf tournament, we're gonna know each other.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'll be there this year. I ain't gonna miss it from here on out. It's my goal to get there.
So, other ways we know each other, your poster pick, you're holding the trophy after winning it, and
Yep.
you got Dion Van Adder and Brian Bauer in your
Oh yeah.
photo. Yeah.
Right.
The athletic therapist and the equipment manager, and they were around all my 4 years.
Yep.
And Brian Bauer, I think, was just starting out when we got there. And man, what a nice guy. And he was so good at wrapping ice on us.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
dude, he
tight.
was. Yeah, both those guys took good care of you. I just saw both of them this weekend. Dion's obviously take a little big step back, but that's part of it, right? Like that that was like your parents in a way when you're there, but like you're cool parents, right? Like,
Yeah.
you
They
can
were there
talk
to
to
help
B
you out
about,
however you
yeah,
needed.
yeah. And B was certainly somebody that my class, really had a lot of just with him, we were always around him. Like it seemed like we were always hurt, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Especially
just
in
a great
September.
guy. Yeah, exactly. When we have our two
When
mile runs.
when you have shin splints and you need to get
Yeah.
taped up a lot.
Talk about guys like that, like Brian Bauer and Dion. There's someone who I don't know how much credit he really gets, and if you've ever met him, his name's Tim Herman.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah, he trained other teams as a trainer when we were there, and now I see he's the hockey guy.
yeah, when he took over after Jen, probably like my sophomore year, it was like night and day the difference of just expectation in the gym. Like we were literally like competing for like gym awards, and it was like a big deal. And like he made the off season like the season. Like it was insane. And I mean to even make this, so it went from, freshman year we were okay, and then sophomore year, my sophomore year, we finished like dead last in the CCHA, last five in the whole NCAA. And then that summer, Tim took over, and it was so like we had to do a shuttle testing, and if you couldn't pass the 300-yard shuttles, you couldn't play on the team. Like, sorry, if you're not in shape, like you got to go.
Right.
Like it was like to the point where it was like we're
But
changing the culture.
300-yard shuttles makes more sense than running 2 miles. Like, you're welcome
Correct.
that I started that by having a bad body. You're welcome that all the Broncos had to do a 2 mile run after me and my roommates couldn't do it.
Oh, the 2 mile run was brutal. I
Oh my
remember it.
God, what a grind.
Gosh, just like
Because
I
you
gotta
you
get
can't
through it.
just do it at when it's time. You have to practice a lot. And when
Right.
you know you're not near 12 minutes in 2 miles, and that's the bar, and it's like,
Yeah.
I'm not sure what to do here because I can't
Right.
make it.
So we also did. There was another, and this wasn't really like a test, like in terms of like you're not gonna like that test, the shuttle test that we did. It was like five 300-yard shuttles that you had to get under 60 seconds, and you got like a 2-minute rest in between each shuttle. But then we did something where when Blasio was his first year coach or his only year coaching us, he had this rope that was like as thick as like this, as thick as my head, right? And it was probably like a 40-foot long, 25, somewhere in there, long rope. And we had to hold it on our shoulders, the whole entire team, and run it around the whole entire campus. We get to like probably the back of the parking lot where like coach is waiting, the back entrance or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And one of our guys just like goes down like I don't know how it was 3 miles around with this rope, right? Some guys at times weren't carry it, like because they just had to focus on the 2 mile run.
And you're
They
being a
couldn't carry
team.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're being a team, exactly. And our leader, my roommate Ian Slater, who was our captain, our junior year, goes back, picks the guy up, throws him on his shoulders, and runs and finishes the whole race. Like I don't
That's
know how much
that's a, that's a
30
leader.
yards maybe left, but still it was like that was like our moment. And like the season hadn't even started yet. And if you look at that year, like our junior year, made the NCAA tournament. We lost in the CCHA final to Miami, who I think Miami made it to the national championship game that year. So it was those guys and those people like Dion and Brian Bauer and Tim Herman, and even honestly, like a guy that did a lot that you played for too is Coach Culhane. Like he recruited the DeKaisers and Wikowski in like that class that was behind me. Like he recruited a lot of those guys, Dennis Brown, you know, and eventually when those guys were juniors and when we were seniors, like that's when we won. When my senior year in 2012, um, which he still had a little bit of part of that, right? He recruited us there, but we just kind of needed a little bit of a culture change, and thank God it kind of happened because look where the program is now.
No, I agree. And Colhane recruited me. always put me in every situation to succeed. Um, you know, um, yeah, it, yeah, I guess I appreciate what he did for me and the positions he put me in.
Yeah,
Um, I when I'm coaching now, I probably try to make a bit better, different culture than what we had when I was there. Because when
yeah,
I was there, we were scared to go to the rink. Um, we knew we weren't having a good season and we were getting punished, whether it's bag skating or working out because we weren't playing well, which didn't help us win the next game. So we had a lot of anxiety just going to the rink in the morning. But you talk about a guy going down and the guy picking him up. We had to do 5 mile runs or 3 mile runs or 2 mile runs. But the one day they were doing it like timed, finish first and you win, and whoever's last, you need to get in a lot better shape. And when they got to the finish line that day, they were told to turn around and do it again, and everybody empties their tank. And
right.
then when they did it again, when they got to the end, one of my buddies collapsed and man, it was scary. They brought an ambulance and had to get like the paddles out and like shock his heart back in. And nobody really talked about it afterwards, but
Yeah,
yeah, it was my roommate and he the shirt they ripped off of him to do the paddles, he hung in his room the rest of senior year.
yeah,
So yeah, no, like
yeah,
it was it's I don't know. You
yeah,
want to push guys hard enough and do it all. But yeah, that was a scary
yeah.
moment.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, it's obviously mental toughness is a real thing, but
Well, yeah, yeah.
there's a
And they
certain
test you in college.
yeah, they test you at any school. I mean, I've heard, lots of stories from I had a buddy that played at Northeastern and I think he played for what's the guy in the NHL, Cronin maybe.
Mm,
Um and
Crowder.
yeah, I don't remember his name, but he said they had to do something where they'd like throw him in the pool with like a sweatshirt on and like you had to like take the sweatshirt off like underwater or something. It was some like Navy SEAL something thing. And
If you're not a good
but
swimmer, that
yeah,
could be dangerous.
yeah. But I think looking at the way college is now, especially, really all I can speak for a lot is Westerns culture because I talk with those guys a lot, but it's just so different, right? Like they practice in the mornings, they have a chef, breakfast in the mornings, they have a chef for lunch, they do their classes mostly in the afternoons and the night. Like it's just, a totally different way of,
It's
uh,
more pro, right? Practicing in the
correct.
morning and then you
Yeah.
have your day. And if you set up your classes right, it could be all right.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Right.
going to school all day and then trying to practice and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember days where it was like, you have 8 a.m. classes and then you go from all the way to 8 to 2 and then practice was whatever, 3 o'clock and
Well, and you could
you're
also throw in the 6 a.m. workout before the classes started.
yeah. Oh yeah. I remember the 6 a.m.s and back when actually so when Blashill took over, like we stopped, like we didn't really do any 6 a.m. workouts unless you got in trouble. Like say you got caught like whatever, skipping a class or like you got in trouble for whatever reason, like you had to go 6 a.m. with Tim Herman and like he would do crazy stuff. Like I remember one time it was like you had to hold like a 25-pound plate and you had to like squat or you had to lunge. The Reed Fieldhouse.
Yeah.
So you had to lunge all the way around the track with the plate. So any step you took, you had to take a lunge and a lunge and a lunge and just stuff like
And your
that.
ass is going to hurt after that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
There was
That's
quite a
when
few times on campus I had a hard time walking up and down stairs and wiping my ass.
oh yeah, I agree. But
But one other guy you played with that I should bring up before we get into other stuff is Greg Squires. He's been on
oh
too.
yeah,
I've had
yeah,
quite a few Broncos on now that I think about it, you know?
yeah. He was a classmate of mine. He had a great career. Obviously, a hell of a player he was. I mean, one of the most skilled players that I ever played with, and probably the best player I've ever seen do a cutback. I
Man, he
mean,
was he came over to Germany and I hadn't played with him. And man, he was a little water bug. And
yeah,
the
yeah,
team I had been on for 4 years and like their top scorer and whatever, think I'm the guy. And then they bring in a new coach, he brings in his own guys. And then there's little Greg Squires, a right winger, right shot that, he was doing it better than me. And he was
Right,
younger, he was faster, and it was a tough pill to swallow.
right. I'm sure it was, and with him being a Bronco too.
Yeah. No, but he's a beauty.
Yeah,
But yeah, he did really well in Germany and then worked his way up, and that was what I was trying to do when I went over there. But
yeah,
getting into your stuff, let's get into some of your
yeah,
hockey. So
yeah,
you came up as a puppy in St. Louis. One name we haven't dropped since we're talking about St. Louis that's helped change the program is Jeff Lavecchio.
yeah, yeah. Obviously, he came in, or no, sorry, I came in when he left. So like we
Right, because he
just met
signed in
each
the
other.
show.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you would know him, but
Oh yeah.
what they did to help me become a pro my senior year was at near the end of the year, they switched it for him to be my hotel roommate
Right.
on road trips because
Right.
they wanted him to rub off on me, and I was a senior and he
Yeah.
was the freshman. And he would make me drink water until I could pee clear, and he wouldn't let me go to sleep unless I could.
Right. Yeah.
I had never
No.
heard of such a thing. I thought you just wake
Yeah.
up and play again.
No. He obviously we kind of grew up around a lot of the same people. He was 85, I was 87. So, you know, kind of watching his team. I mean, he had Stasny and a guy named Eric Slace who played at
Oh, we're still in the
Brown
bait.
and
There, you're back.
I mean, watching the 85 group with him and obviously yeah, he was following him going to Western and I think now me and him are pretty happy with especially being a Western alum. Like you walk around now and say you play hockey at Western Michigan, like it's a big deal in St. Louis. Not to say it wasn't 10, 20 years
But
ago,
they did just win
but
the national championship there.
but it didn't. Yeah, and now it's like wow. But no, I mean he's done obviously a fantastic job with his training and getting some of the guys. He's trained some of my car shield kids. That have gone pro and so yeah. I mean obviously it's cool to see Broncos and St. Louis guys succeeding, right? I mean
Staying in hockey.
yeah,
He's got like a factory of kids there at St. Louis. But so let's get into what you're doing then. We'll get into your pro stuff later, maybe.
yeah.
You are coaching puppies in St. Louis, and you're saying some of them are going pro. I am been coaching here in small town Ontario in Kincardine. Um, if you didn't know, the under 13 Kincardine Canucks are back-to-back All Ontario champions.
Here we
Uh,
go.
yeah, so I think it's really neat coaching kids and seeing them kind of like the Broncos. I didn't win when I was there, but we were brothers on and off the ice. And seeing kids become that and that type of teammate means the world to me. Been coaching my son this year, my daughter's team, and it's a lot of satisfaction when you see a team become a team, eh?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think that's one thing that you try and integrate is make sure that they enjoy each other,
Yeah.
right? And they're doing stuff off the ice. Coaching, I've coached every age level from, well, I shouldn't say every age level, but I've coached 13U, 14U, 15U, 16U, 18U. Um, all have their pros and cons, but kind of like what you said, is just kind of seeing them grow, right? I mean, I see big
Oh, his
difference in a
internet's
player from
sorry, your internet struggled
September
for a
till
second there again. You're back.
yeah,
Um,
it's going on. But yeah,
let's
seeing that player grow um, from September to February, March, whatever is completely different. Um, and obviously a lot is on the player. They're putting in the work, but you're giving those tools, right? This is how this drill should be done. This is what we're working on. A
This is
small
why.
example. Yeah, exactly. This is why. And I don't think coaches 30 years ago when we were young pups really gave you like the detail of the drill or like the detail of where your hand should be when you're shooting or way you should be stopping, just the way you should be opening your hip if you're turning backwards. Like those smaller details are so much more important to teach now compared to our day. And that's probably why the game obviously is a little bit more uh,
Skilled.
skilled, right?
It's a
And not
lot
like,
more skilled.
yes, I would say the hockey sense of it from I always say this, I feel like the game is faster, but I don't know if the hockey sense is better, right?
I
Um,
think there's a lot more kids that can make plays, but a lot of them are just so talented at like skating around pylons and stuff because they're doing a lot more of those skill drills instead of actually competing.
right.
When I coach a team, like I want them to compete and everything, there's a winner and a loser, and I want
Yeah,
them to get to know how to compete. I think
right.
that's a big thing.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, even, today we did a skill skate with my 18U team, and then at the end of practice, we did a compete drill. But I mean, it was a skills practice this morning. We had our regular practice this afternoon. But at the
Two a
end, we did
days, 2 a days.
2 days, 2 days.
Holy moly.
Not every day, but some days. And we had a day off yesterday. We got a day off Thursday. So obviously, you got to make sure they're fresh. But we just did a one-timer game. Said, the righties, you each get three one-timers. Lefty, you each get three one-timers. If you hit the net, um, it's a point. If you go posting in, it's 2 points. If you miss the net, it's a -1. Right. And it comes down to like the last two guys. And I mean, they score, they're cheering, miss the net, they're upset, and it's like just bringing that habit out in them and always making everything a challenge and competing, I think is certainly something that you got to do.
And yeah, I agree. When you start keeping score in like the small area games or the little scrimmages, and once you keep score and there's two teams, man, it's so different
Yeah,
than if you're
absolutely.
just playing to play, you know?
Right. Well, the big one where it gets a little nasty with the older guys, right? You do who's got the stuff on the road in terms of, right, who's got the stick bag and the trunk and the water bottles and the puck bag, and if you lose your team, you got to figure out who's doing it or who's cleaning the locker room like for the week, like. So we try to do some stuff like that where there's a little bit of reward at the end, and really you don't want to lose because you want to worry about the game. You don't have to carry the trunk in. There's no rookies or anything like that here. So that's kind of how we do things.
So, a random question because it was actually Chris Frank. I started asking guys that like all over when they come on, what their favorite drill is, whether it's playing or coaching. Chris Frank is coaching the puppies out in Washington, and he wrote to me and he's like, keep asking that question, because the drill that guy provided, I did with my team. And he's like, it changed things. And I'm like, that's funny because I did the same drill the
Yeah,
next practice too, and it changed things for my team too. So, what is your favorite drill in practice?
right. My favorite drill is probably 6 pass 2-on-1, which is basically you have all the forwards on all four blues.
Yeah,
You have the D in the opposite corners, and it kind of goes from the pucks are with the D. Um, it kind of goes from each point of the blue lines. So it'll go like from the one blue line to the blue line, down to the D, down to the far blue line, kicks out, and the far guys kind of go around. I'll send it to you, but it's basically a 2-on-1 drill with a lot of puck movement. And the D who started the drill eventually comes up and gaps up into play.
to take the
But
two on
I've
one.
I've used it with yeah, I've used it with 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, 18-year-olds, pro guys. Like you snap the puck around, and obviously as an offensive guy, a smaller forward, I loved offensive drills. So,
Hmm.
and as the coach,
Two
like,
on one
you got
drills
to
as a
have to.
forward is fun, right? Like,
Yeah. I mean, it's so much fun, right? And then when you
mhm.
get a little bit everybody involved, you got four other players that are touching the puck and kind of moving it and creating the play. And then it eventually ends with a D like stretch pass. I think that's probably my go-to as as a player.
As a player. So,
Yeah.
what's your favorite as a coach?
Uh,
I don't want to put you on the spot here, but I'm curious.
so we do in this drill, I do this drill every Tuesday for about 10, 15 minutes. And really, it basically is a D zone squash drill. And it just starts with 2D in the corner. And we did this drill at Western. But 2D in the corner, um, two forwards against the wall, and the D are right behind the forwards. And then there's a centerman or a forward F1, whatever you want to call them, right behind that pile. So when you blow the whistle, the objective is the D to squash those forwards together, right? And then that third extra forward comes in and fishes the puck, and he finds the coach who's in the center slot, and then they go, and then that center goes over to the next pile, which is in the other corner, which is another 2-on-2, working on that squash. So once I blow the whistle again, D, we're trying to squash those guys together, center it, and kind of come and get that puck. And then eventually I transition it to a 5-on-5, where everybody comes outside the blue line. Same start, right? Where I have the two forwards, two D in the corner, and then everyone's kind of in their D zone, small like squash. Your strong side wingers on top of the circle. Your weak side wingers in the slot there, and then you got your two D and your center who are kind of starting in that
So you're
squash.
so you're squashing in the D zone. You're putting 2D in the corner.
Oh yeah,
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 see, I
we're
don't
we're
I don't I don't roll like that.
yeah. I mean, that's the system that we ran at Western, and basically it's a quick exiting system, right? Like we want to outnumber. Like if they go three, then we'll throw our weak side forward in there. We'll go 4-on-3. So
Yeah,
we'll throw our net front forward and go 4-on-3.
really.
Um, yeah.
Really taking away time and space then.
But once again, I practice that drill religiously. Like every Tuesday, 20 minutes, like no goalie's even in the net. And if you could score on the other team, it's 20 push-ups. My guys
Right.
rarely score because obviously and that's the objective is to learn how to squash and how to exit quickly. And I think it's just beneficial if you can everybody's on the same page in the D zone. I mean, I think my team, we've scored a lot of goals this year from transition play from our D zone, right? Where we
Right.
just are off to the races. And it's for the D too, the D to jump up and get up in the rush.
So you did play 3 years after Western, and then it looks like as soon as you hung them up, you got one of these AAA coaching jobs right off the hop, I guess as an assistant coach. And then you've been sticking with it since. So how does that happen?
Yeah.
How did you get the job
Yeah.
right off the hop?
Well, the guy who kind of runs the whole thing, like right now, I'm the assistant hockey director slash hockey director, and he's kind of the president or hockey director. Um, I kind of watched him grow up. He played in the minors. We both played roller hockey growing up.
Me too.
Inline hockey, yeah, roller's huge here. It's obviously pretty big in Ontario too.
No,
Um,
nothing. No, not really. Like I
no,
want my son to play coming up, and I'm in the middle of nowhere, but there was really nowhere for him to get into it.
yeah,
I tried it for a summer. There wasn't like an actual team that would go play other towns or teams
right.
that was close enough. So yeah, I ended up getting into baseball, but yeah,
Yeah, well, that's
roller's
good. See,
great.
yeah, we have roller rinks all over here. The national tournament here this summer. So, anyways, I got hurt playing in Tulsa, and my shoulder, like, I was trying to figure out what to do because I re-signed with Tulsa, but my shoulder was like not right. And I call them, and they're basically like, how the minor leagues really
Well, if you're not
are.
healthy,
Yeah.
see ya.
Well, they're like, you signed off on your exit form when you left Tulsa, even though like I was re-signed to go there. You know what a coach contract means? It means absolutely nothing. Like it's rip it up in front of your face. Um, so I was kind of in limbo. Like, what do I do? Like, do I go pay for my own MRI? Like, I went because it was summer. I was like going to work out, and I'm like, something's wrong, you
Yeah,
know. And basically went and got my own MRI, and it was like torn labrum, torn bicep tendon, um, and like something else was wrong with it. So then I call the PHPA, and I'm like, hey, like this is what's going on, blah 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 blah. Long story short, I basically was in a way forced to retire if I wanted to ever get money for.
compensated. Yeah,
Yeah, right. So I had to take legal action with PHPA. It took like 2 years. Eventually, ended up getting my surgery like a year later, and got like my clavicle had to be realigned, my bicep tendon, my labrum had to be redone. But back to the original. So like I was in limbo. Like, what am I going to do? And I was talking with JP, and he was like, hey, like we'd love to have you, like, because I used to coach roller hockey too. He's like, I know you want to get into coaching. Like, how much did you make in the coast? blah blah blah. He's like, all right, well, let's see what we can do. And I started selling insurance with my dad, which was kind of like my main job. I started studying for my insurance license and getting my P&C, and really like was excited, but at the same time like didn't go out on my own terms in a way.
Yeah.
But it was I was 28 at the time, so it was, kind of felt like, hey, I got to play about 3 years. I did well, but like, what more was I going to do? Go play another 5 years in the coast, and it kind of just all worked out. Where we were a small organization. We just had two teams, 16s and 18s, and I kind of like my first year was the assistant and small role or whatever. And then my second year was like doing a lot of stuff. And then by my third year, we had a 15U team. And then we just kept adding and growing. And now we have 9U through 18U. We have our own academy here. So we have a new rink that's going to be finished here in July. It's about a 80 million, $60 million facility. So it kind of just evolved.
And you've
And
been there from kind of the get-go.
from the get go, kind of help build it from the ground up, and and fortunate enough to been through a lot of good coaches and a lot of good programs, and I felt that I kind of, in a way, have been there. Right, I've been there as a player,
Hmm.
and I needed to do basically what happened at Western. Right, I knew like we were taking over a team like my first year. I'm sure you're familiar with all these my hockey ranking stuff and all that good stuff, but so my first year, I come in and our team was whatever, like 70 or 80, right? And I remember that year we lost to the Pens Elite, who was the national champion 4-2. But I just remember like I was I wasn't happy after we were losing, and
Hmm.
like the
I
guys
understand.
the guys kind of knew, and it wasn't like I was mean to them, but like it was like, don't really talk to me after the game, like this is a standard, like we need to play good, and if we play good and we lost, I was happy, right? But eventually, like how practice was, like we started to do the 300-yard shuttles. We started doing workouts. We can't do the vamp up like I did in college because all these kids are in high school.
Yeah.
But, if our practice was at 4 o'clock, it was like, all right, get there at 3. We're going to do off ice from 3 to 3:20 or 3 to 3:30. And then we're going to do film after practice once a week, and just started to change everything. And then by our second year, we went from like 70 to top 20. And we've kind of, never looked back, right? Like we've had a lot of good players come through here, and a lot of good kids. And, in our short 10 years, I think we've had, 15 to 20 NCAA Division One kids, one
It's got to be fun to
NHL.
see those kids go and do stuff, eh?
Oh, it's crazy. It's the first group that I coached, which was the 97s and the 98s. Some of those guys are playing pro right now. And the goalie from our 98 team was the goalie at Wisconsin, and he won the Mike Richter Award for NCAA Division One best goaltender. He's played in the American League, right? He's up and down A and coast, but like it is very cool. And I talk about stories with him, and he was one of the kids that was part of the culture change because he was on the team of that 2 years where we were like 70 and 20. And it started with little stuff like, and this guy named Kyle McClellan, right? And Kyle, I used to always call him Princess. That was my nickname for him because he was just always so, like my stuff has to be like this, and I'm a goalie, and and I started that name, and it's just part about the little bit of the culture. Is we do itineraries on the road. When I played for Blash and First and these guys, like breakfast at 9 o'clock, you're there at 8:50, right? And if you're there at 9:01, you don't play that night. If Blash told you to wear your gray sweatshirt and you wear your blue one, he's waiting off the bus for you to be like, why are you wearing that sweatshirt? Do you not know how to read? So that was like the mentality that I kind of brought to these kids. And Kyle, for one of them, I'll never forget this, is we stay at a hotel and there's a Starbucks right next door. And then we're staying at the Staybridge, right? The Staybridge has bagels and fruit and continental stuff. The Starbucks has your lattes, and he had his bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. And all the guys are, eating this. And then he's eating his Starbucks. And I kind of, in a way, I didn't like give it to him. I'm like, hey, like that's not what we do here. I'm like, no one else, everyone else is eating this. Like, and it's just a little detail, right? Not like
It's
that
also
matters.
eating together and being together.
Correct. And it's like you're not better than the team. Now, if there was 10 of you guys, and you're like, hey, all 10 of us, we want to go to Starbucks together,
Yeah.
right? Or
Right.
if it was like my roommate, because like they stay with roommates on the road at my age. Like we travel on the bus, just like junior hockey. And it was like, you know, that detail for me was a lesson for him. And I believe, I mean, obviously he's had a very successful pro career and Division One career and played in the USHL. Like I'm certain that a lot of the lessons that we instilled in him here, he carried on with them. And those are the lessons that I learned from Bronco guys and good coaches growing up. So um, but yeah, it's just awesome to kind of stay in the game, right? If you had asked me that when I retired, like I was getting into insurance and working for my dad, and I still do that, but not
Yeah.
very much.
Um, so like I know the answer, but so you get paid to coach minor hockey, like AAA though.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's necessary to coach, right? But I do everything, right? Like I'm ordering jerseys, I'm working at the school every day.
And you're the director and
Yeah, like, making sure that we got the spring times ready and the tryout ice times and, do
and then when
coaching
you say you
meetings,
have an
coaching
academy,
skills.
these are the
Yeah.
kids that like go to school and play hockey at the
Yep.
same
Yep.
place.
Yeah. So we have probably about 50 kids from ages fifth grade to 12th grade. Um, and you can do so in St. Louis, pretty much every public school offers an online platform you can do. So you can do your online platform through your St. Louis public school, or if you want to use like Edmentum or Acellus, these are nationwide online platforms that kids can do. Obviously, just like anything else, there's pros and cons,
Yeah.
right? Um, I think for what hockey is in today's world, like it's no doubt, right? A kid that trains in hockey every day is going to be better than the kid that can't, right? I don't care what it is. If I play the guitar every day and you play the guitar twice a week, I'm going to be better than you, right?
Well,
If I'm putting in the effort, right?
yeah.
And in the hours, in the man hours, right? And I talk at from fifth grade to 12th grade, you take a kid that does an academy, or you take a kid that goes to local school who only gets 3 hours of ice a week, and the next kid gets 9 hours of ice a week, like that kid's going to be better, you know?
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
I understand like
Yeah.
that. Like that's not the life I live here.
Yeah.
My kids probably when I'm coaching them don't get enough ice time, but we make adjustments and we'll do like 7 a.m. practice before school, and the
Right.
parents pay extra out of pocket. But like I don't make any money doing it here in Canada, and I do find it interesting because I love it. I love coaching the kids. I've seen those two teams win it all back to back years, and it's two totally different teams. Only had three returning players,
Wow.
and you see what they did to win and what it took, and then you see the friendships and the brotherhood for life. We in Canada in minor hockey, like you're volunteers unless you're in Toronto,
Right.
and I, I've, if I'm being honest, I've seen a lot of tough coaching out there in Canada. And then you see what's going on in the World Juniors compared to 10 years ago. Canada used
Right.
to win all the time. And now
Yeah.
it's like, well, you got real hockey guys teaching hockey guys how to hockey and you're paying them. It's like,
Right.
doesn't that make more sense than a volunteer that maybe doesn't know much about hockey that's just doing it to be around their kid more?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I know St. Louis, I would say we're probably I don't want to say a step behind, but you look at states like Michigan and some teams out east, like some of these prep schools, like these guys are getting like I work two jobs, right? I sell insurance and coach hockey. And, it's not like I couldn't support my family off of just hockey. But you go to, some of these big money, I've heard some stories and even seen some articles where Michigan coaches go from money guy to money guy, right? Like Caesar's guy goes to Bell Tire because the Caesars kid guy who had a bunch of money is like, hey, well, my kid's going to Bell Tire. Like, let's go. I'll pay you 200K. Just come coach the team. Like crazy type of stuff. So, certainly I think that we run a professional program, right? And like it's you get what you pay for, right? So I want to make
Well,
sure that
and I'm sure
we
you
have good
do. The only thing
training.
I worry about as a dad in minor hockey is how much does this cost to do all this hockey? Because it's crazy expensive for us here, and we're not in an academy and we're not paying coaches, and it's still like tough for people to make it work.
Right. Yeah. No, for sure. I think price point is hockey's definitely got a little bit out of hand, right?
Hmm.
From the equipment, from even it's everything, right? You look at what
You
the
break a
rink is.
stick and the dad wants to cry in the crowd.
Yeah, it's $400. It's a car payment.
Yeah,
But everything since like COVID, right? Like they jacked up the ice time, and
yeah,
then the hotels and then the buses jack up their rates, and then the equipment goes up, and now the showcase that we used to do the showcase before COVID, and showcases were $1,000, $1,200, $1,500 for like 4 games, right?
yeah.
In 2018, 2019, right? You look at 2025, you want to do a 4 game showcase, it's $2,500, right? And it's stay to play, right? Where you got to stay at one of their hotels where it's usually $200 a night, right?
Oh
Which
yeah.
so it's like everything, which kind of sucks for our sport, right? And
Well, it does because people say hockey's for everyone. It's actually not. You have to have a good setup in life and a good job to even have a chance of your kid getting to play, really.
yeah, no, for sure. There's some cool things that St. Louis does. I know when you first get into it, like the Blues do, like you can go get a free bag, gear, everything, skates, helmet, gloves, and try hockey for free. And obviously get more kids into the game. But once again, how many of those kids can continue to play as they grow? There is certain foundations that you can apply to get some money off. But I think the cost of hockey certainly in you look at a lot of states, it's a little crazy.
No,
So hopefully that
our company. So when we were talking about getting into coaching and staying in the game, is like I didn't. I got injured at the end of my career, and I never got to end it the way I wanted. And then I moved back to small town Canada, and I have to find work, find a job, and get going with that. And what I missed was being a hockey guy and all my friends. And I mean, I went through a tough patch where I wasn't too happy with things, but then it was coaching kids. And I can hear the way you talk about the kids you've coached, how much you care. But it was like being back on a team and getting to screw around with
yeah,
kids and like joke around and like being around a locker room, but then seeing them do it and doing it from afar. It's like I didn't feel like I was ready to be a coach when I just got injured. But then once you get into it, and I'm like, I am ready to be a coach, and this is what I enjoy doing. Um, it brought back so much of my love of hockey, but then also doing the podcast where I get to mess around with the kids when I'm coaching them, but then also get to hang out with the boys that are
right,
my age and go over the old hockey tales. It's like I haven't loved hockey this much maybe in my life, you know?
right. Yeah, no pressure, no anxiety, like just
No,
having
and
fun.
I'm doing it all for free. Nobody's
Yeah,
even paying me.
that's right. Loving the game. That's
Yeah.
right.
And it's all the friendships and
Yeah,
just being around it and being the hockey guy. I couldn't
right.
imagine if they paid me to coach minor hockey because man, do I get invested for doing it voluntarily.
Yeah. No, it's obviously it's a blessing to have the opportunity and to thankful for kind of the opportunity I got to grow into to what we've done. And I could say certainly for our car shield guys, we're obviously we got to put ourselves just like any other program in the States to make sure we can run a budget and all that. But I would say compared to around the country, we make sure that our players are getting what they're paying for and some, right? Especially like an academy kid. If you play AAA and then you end up going to our academy, like you get probably like a 90% discount. You get a pretty hefty discount to go to the school here. So, make it enticing for you to make AAA and then have the opportunity to get some scholarship money to attend the school. And um, but no, it's certainly become youth sport, all youth sports, right? I got buddies. Soccer's really big here in St. Louis, and I have buddies that are directors at programs, and that is all they do, right? And youth sports, I think in general, kind of needs a revamp. But as long as the Joneses are keep going, you got to keep up with them, right?
Yeah, well, it's true though. When
Yeah,
like yeah, I'm working with what I got here, and I tried with the ice time we have. It's like, well, we're not wasting a minute when we're out on that ice because we're already not getting enough. So it's go time when we get out there.
right,
But
right.
anywho, um, one thing I like talking about because I won in junior hockey in my hometown in Elmira, Ontario, and won the Sutherland Cup. And we still have a group chat. We're all still friends. Still is going to this day, like 25 years later. You won the NAHL in St. Louis twice,
Yeah,
back to back.
yeah,
So isn't winning forever? Do you guys still talk? Like, are you still buddies with guys from the
yeah.
team?
No, definitely. One of my best friends that was in my wedding was on that team, and then I probably went to. I think there was three of us that went to Western. So that was kind of pretty cool to have
Three of you went to
to
Western from
go
that
from the
team?
being. Yeah, yep. Ben Warda, Mike Leone, myself, and then Ben Miller. There was actually four of us.
Wow.
Um, so yeah, it was obviously to win your hometown. I mean, I had grandma, grandpa, you know, girlfriend, the whole nine, everybody there, and um, getting able to party afterwards with some of the NHL alumni and in the NHL Blues Room. A
Well, that
guy
sounds
like
fun.
Kelly Chase. Kelly Chase was our owner. Paul was one of the owners. It was really cool. After the game, you get back in the locker room, everybody's got a bag of, or a bottle of champagne just waiting on their stall. Like it was something that obviously you'll never forget. A lot of those guys are still in the game, still playing, or I still keep in touch with. But definitely championship teams you never really lose touch with, I feel like.
It's well, he's gone for real this time.
Only twice, only twice.
It's only happened twice. And he's back, folks. But when I always talk about winning is forever, and the championship teams, when you know your teammates will do what it takes for each other to win, and you actually go out and do that, it's a different friendship relationship for life. And that you get to do that in your hometown too is really neat. And my next question is why Western Michigan and how did you get recruited there? Because I see you win back to back, winning gets people places. But then the second year, you're the MVP, the big dog. So how did it go down that you went to Western Michigan?
Yeah. So I was talking to some different schools. Was working on clearinghouse was really one of the main reasons is because it took me so long to get through clearinghouse. Like I didn't get through until basically my last year in nationals is basically when I like finally got cleared. Like, all right, you're through to clearinghouse. Had to take the ACT like three times that year. But I mean, I was talking heavily to Merrimack, Canisius. Most of the schools were out east. Um, and then Western came to the Nationals. And the assistant coach at the time was Mark Fackler. And Mark Fackler knew John Cooper from Michigan days. I guess Fackler, they were both lawyers back in the day and or practicing law or studying to be lawyers. And they were like had classes together and they lived together. Anyways, they're both in hockey now. And Cooper was basically like, if you don't take this guy, like you're crazy. Like you got,
Was he coaching your team?
so Fackler talked to me and was like, yeah, Cooper was coaching my team.
Oh, so that's been pretty interesting to watch his career then, eh?
Oh yeah, yeah. no, it's been pretty cool. He definitely, once again, talk about championship teams, like he doesn't forget who you are. Like I can text, call, and he'll pick right up, left off. How you doing? How's the family? All that stuff. So, um, but yeah, I mean, playing on championship teams are like you said. Do you ever really lose touch?
Sure don't.
Um,
No.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, you don't. And that's it's cool to see a guy like that coaching a junior team, and then he ends up being a not an NHL champion coach, winning the Stanley Cup. That's got to be cool for the kids that were on that team to see. Can you hear me? Are you there?
Oh, it was unbelievable.
There you are.
Kind of watch him go from yeah, yeah. No, I could hear you. To see him go from USHL to A to winning it. I mean, it was really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool to see. I mean, I've seen, and he took a lot of the same guys that were where, like John Burkhart was one of our scouts. Went to Tampa. Ryan Garlock was our equipment guy. He went to Tampa. Like so, like I knew like some of those people, and then Patty Maroon was one of my best friends. So seeing him win two in Tampa with Coop was really cool because he was part of that Bandits championship team too. Was Patrick Maroon.
Okay.
Um, so like yeah, like it was. I mean, Coop and Pat would be like I remember they were in the bubble, and they have a night off or something, and I get a FaceTime from Coop, and I'm like, oh boy, like what are these guys doing? And him and Maroon obviously having a couple sodas, just like what are you doing? Hey, what's up? Like, but it's certainly cool to see guys that you've been a part of do so well, right? And I've learned, I mean, I've gotten to play for, I just been spoiled for the coaches that I get to grow up playing for with, Coop and Murray and Blashill and Furch and some of these guys.
Uh-huh. Oh, I agree. I think my experience is you can learn from every coach you had, whether it's taking one thing from them or taking what you don't want to do from them or taking a whole bunch from them. You learn from the coaches you have, and they're all different. Frozen again. Hat
There he
trick.
is.
We're still in the basement of the arena.
Yeah. It was going good for a while there. I was like, I was in the back of my mind, I jinxed it. I'm like, man, it's been like 30, 40 minutes, no hiccups. This is going well.
Hey, just got to keep playing. It's all you can do.
That's right.
So before I
Yep.
forget, before we got to shut this down because you got stuff to do in your minor hockey world and I got stuff to do, is your poster picks. I love me the pictures. I love when guys care and I ask them like, what do you want on your poster? Whatever you want, you let me know. And then you see some of the coolest hockey pictures you've ever seen when they send them to you. The one when I think you just won at
Yeah.
Western Michigan, you and is it your brother at the glass?
Yeah. Yeah. It's me and my brother at the glass.
He looked happy for you.
That's my all-time picture. Like I got that dude. And so obviously their last name's O'Kane. If you look at his shirt, even the detail, he's wearing like this big Irish thing. It was on St. Patrick's Day. Um, I got that thing framed. That was such a cool moment for me to. I mean, I'm celebrating and like honestly, I'm on the glass and I'm like, no way. And I kind of put my hands on the glass or whatever it was. But yeah, that was an extremely cool moment for me to kind of have my family there because that was my senior year, right? Like
Yeah, it was ending
at
either
the
way. You may
Joe,
as
like who
well
knows if
win.
I was, yeah, yeah, like I was either, and who knows if I was going to play pro. And like, my older brother was obviously the one who got me into hockey. Like I wanted to be like him, and so it was really cool to have him there, and that'll be a good picture for my son to see one day.
What I thought was neat about it is there's a lot of times I'm doing silly stuff and people take photos And then you have it when you weren't planning on anybody taking the photo. You would have just been having that moment on the glass with your brother, and somebody actually took the photo for you.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty cool.
It is cool. And then I talked about B and Dion in the one. And then there's another one you put on of scoring against Michigan, and you're mucking her up right in front of the net, and you look really happy. Scoring against Michigan is fun. Beating Michigan is fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I think that was the icing on the cake of the CCHA semifinal my junior year. I think that put us up like 4 or 5 to 1. And if you look at that photo, like and you zoom in on the kid's face, it's pretty funny to see his face, like as I'm selling in his face. But um,
there's
yeah,
some
I
funny
was
hockey
pretty
photos.
lucky to get some of those cool photos.
Well, when I get sent as many poster pics as I do, I find that pictures after teams score are hilarious because the guy's sending me one of him scoring, but then when you see the other team and how sad they are in the background, it's so funny.
Right. Yeah. No, it's good.
But when I
It's
brought
good
up
to
B
see.
and Dion in that photo with you, was the other guy in that photo
Did I
not
lose you there?
Railer?
Go. I'm here.
Was the other guy not Railer with Dion and B? Are you there? Holy moly, we're grinding it out here, folks.
Oh, oh yeah. Railer was my roommate.
Really? He's been on the show. So
Oh, what a beauty that guy is. I can go.
I went and took a selfie with him at the Western Michigan golf tournament, and you probably were like playing in his group, and I didn't even know you then.
I, yeah, absolutely. You definitely probably did.
I know I did.
Yeah,
Because he had been on the
I still
show.
see him.
Sorry, you go ahead.
No, they're good. I still see him all the time. Obviously, we keep in touch. He's coaching youth hockey, so we're
Yeah,
at
he
a lot of
is.
the same events, and he's doing 16U this year. So what a character that guy is. I mean, talk about an all-time beauty. He's the definition of a beauty.
The way I got to know him for the start was I was having a lot of guys on from the UK when I started this, but he was a Bronco, but also I go to play Glasgow. Chris Frank's on the team, who he was a meanie weenie out there. I didn't like playing against Chris Frank. I'd rather be his teammate. But then I roll into a face off on wing, and then the guy's like, "Hey, Wally." I'm like, who's this punk? And then I realize it's Bronco.
Yeah,
And um like
right,
it's just neat the bond Broncos have. And he knew I was a Bronco. I kind of lost track of who was on the Broncos after my guys started leaving. But then when he was like, "Hey Wally, what's up?" And I was like, "Who's this cat?" And then I had to look
right.
him up and I'm like, "No shit, a
Yeah.
Bronco." Yeah.
All right. Well, I like this guy then.
Yeah, well, and then we had a podcast, got to know each other, and he is a dandy, and he's raising puppies
Yeah.
too. And then I went to a
Yep.
Western Michigan golf tournament and met him in person, and we got to chit chat again.
Yeah. We didn't even know each other, but now we do.
Next time, I'll get my selfie with you too.
That's
I don't know
right.
if you knew how many selfies I take. It's a lot. Um, Random one.
Yeah.
I know we got to shut it down pretty soon. I
No,
got
you
some
good. You're
serious
good.
serious questions. Favorite bar at Western Michigan? Does it depend on the night?
It was probably it was called Firehouse back then, but now it's called Library.
Yeah. Yep. I know the one. When I went to Western Michigan, we had the tap room, which was a
Yep.
legendary,
Yeah. Yep.
legendary.
You've heard of it.
Yeah. So the tap room changed, but then when that changed, we ended up at the firehouse. And our last couple years at Western, the firehouse was the place, and it's a good time.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Real good time.
yes, I agree. Okay. So then when you do win the
We got
CCA,
pretty involved in it.
yeah, we did too. There was actually a night the team did a dynamic warm up on the dance floor. It was Good dance moves. Um,
That's good.
so you do win
That's
the
good.
CCHA championship. You get your photo with your brother. What are your pro options then after winning it? And like you ended up in the Southern Pro Hockey League. Some of my Bronco teammates ended up there too. They liked it.
Yeah. No, so yeah, I loved it. I started in so my first year pro was a lockout year. So it was kind of tough.
That'll
I
jam you
started in
up
the
for sure.
coast like preseason and all that, and yeah, and was in Stockton for probably 3 weeks. Um, and then I got hurt, and then they got a bunch of A guys, and then I got sent home, and I was kind of just sitting at home, like, what do I do? Like when I get healthy, to like try and call a coach team, to like, and then Kelly Chase, who obviously was a guy with the Bandits, owner, which was a friend of mine and helped me a lot through my career. God love him. Um, he called Kevin Kaminsky, who was coaching the Southern Pro League, um, and was like, "Hey, you gotta take my guy. Like this kid, you gotta take him." Killer didn't know anything about me. All he knew was him and Chaser were boys, and they were both fighters in the NHL. And if Chaser said to take him, that he was going to do it. And that's basically what he told me. So I go down there, and I'm there for like 11 games, and um, I got called up to the East Coast League. And honestly, like it was weird because my team in the SP, we were number one team in the league, and playoffs were um, not too far around the corner. So like I was kind of like bittersweet, like I'm getting called up to the coast, but like,
I also want to
I've
win
been
here.
here for like whatever. And yeah, and I had Riley Gill there, who was a Bronco, um, you know, ECHL Hall of Famer.
I actually
Um,
have that down on the notes.
yeah,
I've been meaning, I've heard he's a beauty from my guys, and then you see what he did in pro, working his way up
yeah,
from the Southern Pro League to being an East Coast Hall of Famer. That's pretty neat.
yeah. And he was a guy that wouldn't miss a party with the boys, wouldn't miss a thing, right? Like he was always right there with us. Um, but no, it was a weird situation. But obviously, I got called up, played in Tulsa for the rest of the year. Um, Ended up playing 1 year in St. Louis, St. Charles, I guess it's called, in the Central League, which was really cool. I got to play at home again. So I got to play junior hockey at home. I got to play pro hockey at home. Like it
I didn't
was,
realize that was in St. Louis. Okay.
yeah, the St. Charles chill. It was one year and done, and then went back to Tulsa for my third year, um, and then obviously kind of got into the coaching stuff. But uh, yeah, it was. I had some options, but it was just tough, right? Like I was, I
Lockouts
was,
change
uh,
everything, man.
I was an
Uh,
okay college player. Yeah,
yeah.
for
Oh, the
sure.
trickle down effect from a lockout, it's amazing to see. That would have been when I was in Hellbronn, Germany, and we had a couple NHLers on our team, and then all the teams had NHLers on their team during the season, and seeing what it did to the guys playing in Germany, the guys that were normally getting jobs weren't because NHLers were coming over, and it changed everything. But
Yeah,
speaking of your Southern Pro Hockey League time, my first year in Germany, Landshut, which I'm going back in February for a charity game, but we went to the finals, play the Castle Huskies. And this punk that scored so many goals in the playoffs, and they beat us by 1 goal. Sean McNeil was on your Southern Pro Hockey League team. Dude, that guy's really good.
yeah, the real deal, McNeil.
He was the real deal in Germany, that's for sure. Oh yeah.
Oh my God, he was kind of at the end of his career when I played with him. Um, it's my first year pro. Kind of, I'm walking into the locker room some mornings, just kind of dragging right from the night before or poker or whatever it was with the guys, and there's the real deal over there doing crossword puzzles with his glasses on and having a coffee. It's like we're just in two totally different time zones right now. Like,
Oh yeah.
um, but he was great to learn from. Like I got to play on his line and a really good player. And he got into coaching for a little bit. I think he's still down there. I haven't talked to him in a few years, but I think he's actually still living down there.
Well, he was a player when he was in Kassel, Germany. Yeah, big reason why they beat us by 1 goal, but whatever. Um, it happened.
Yeah.
Um,
Stud.
yeah, he was. Gosh, I had something else in my head, but I can't think of it now. Um, you got anything before we shut it down? I'm trying to remember what I was going to
Yeah.
say, but I can't remember.
Uh, no, not really. I mean, I guess my only one question for you is what's your favorite hockey memory, just in general, as a player?
I think it would be hard to decide. Um, I would say I've won quite a bit. Um, I would say
Yeah.
more than my body says. Um, but winning junior B and I did say winning in general, but winning in my hometown as like a 17, 18-year old with all a bunch of guys I came up with as kids. Winning all Ontario when I was a kid. Then winning in Germany, winning in Denmark, winning in Cardiff, Wales. But then I would have to say my favorite memory would be I moved to a new town, don't know many people. I've played some hockey. I put my name in to coach minor hockey and want to, and don't get jobs. And then the guy that got the job said, I want us to do this together right away. We're co-coaches. We're doing this together. You run the forwards, I run the D. I'm like, okay, cool. And my
Right.
son's a first year, 2 ages together. And then a team that hadn't won much together coming up then became all Ontario champions and did whatever it took. We had some magical games along the way that it was like we were writing the Mighty Ducks movie again. It was crazy. Um,
Yeah.
and then you see those kids become a team you want that you're proud of, that like they're my brothers for life. Same with you and Coop. I'd do anything for these kids. I'll shout their name out to
Yeah.
whoever they want. And that would probably be my favorite memory. It's like my son said, that's my favorite team ever. But then we did it again the next year when my son's the second year and we have kids a year below and it's a totally different team. I think coaching the two under 13 teams to all Ontario championships would be my favorite memory. But as a player, I mean, it's tough because every time you win is special. But when we won in Denmark and I'm
Yeah.
second in the league in scoring, and then they don't ask you back, and you're like, so am I the bad guy? Am I the bad seed in the room? Like I'm second league in scoring, you don't want me back. Um, then I go to Cardiff, who was a ninth place team the year before, and we win the Challenge Cup. And then I see all these guys that were younger when I got there become legends in Cardiff. And I've got invited back like 5 times for my buddies' games and at night for myself. And it was like, proven I wasn't the bad guy and that I'll win with this team. You don't want me back? Well, go fuck yourselves.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Stick it
Yeah.
up yours.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I've had some great memories. Last weekend with my under 11 girls, hockey can still break your heart. We lost in an 8 round shootout. The girls gave her everything
Oh,
they had. It was 0-0. Couldn't buy one. It was one of the most epic hockey games I've seen. We were just on the wrong side of it. But I'm still
yeah.
having fun playing hockey. I mean, between 2 games at the hotel, the girls mixed me up a drink in the lobby, like where the breakfast was, and they come up and say, you got to try this. And there's a lid on it. It's in a coffee cup. Well, I took a sip and, well, they made me throw up. I actually threw up. They filled it with sausages and all sorts of different things. And I tried it, trusting them. And then I realized I cannot trust them and I will not drink that drink again. So
That
I'm,
doesn't
I'm still
sound too
having
good.
fun playing hockey. I just coaching kids now, you know?
Yeah. No, I can certainly relate to that. I feel like still when I come to the rink every day, it's like going to see my brothers in a way. Like you said, like
Right.
I'll do anything for these kids. Like 20 years from now, 10 years from now, you call me, you need something, you need a whatever. I'll be there to help you, you know?
And that's the type of coach I've always wanted. And the ones that had my back, I'm like, well, I'll do anything for you. And when you show that
Yeah,
support to them, they'll do the same in turn. Um, yeah, no, I like see it when I saw what you're doing in the game, made me want to talk to you. Also, one of the Broncos that helped turn the program around. I mean, there's a lot of them you can count that helped turn it around, but now to see what it is now,
yeah,
it makes us all very proud, right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, it's certainly proud to be a Bronco just like yourself and just have the opportunity to come on the podcast and meet somebody like yourself and learn a little bit about you. Obviously, I was looking up your elite prospects and all
Oh
that stuff. I'm
yeah.
like, man, this guy's good. This guy was good. Like, um, so it's certainly like I love doing stuff like this. I could talk hockey all day. I mean,
Especially with
but once again,
Broncos.
like, yeah, oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
um, yeah,
Yeah, no, I and like it's neat the Broncos and then the places I've won. It's I guess how you can start something like this where you can do 500 episodes for fun and for a hobby. But
right,
like it means the world to me now. Like, the friendships that you create along the way and those tough times when you get out of the game, you kind of lose it. And like some guys lose it where you're not staying in contact with the boys anymore. And it's like, it's really not that hard to stay in contact, and group chats are fun.
yeah, absolutely,
They are. And
absolutely, and
nobody's
yeah,
changed.
yeah, yeah. You start to realize that you can still have fun even though you can't see each other all the time. So,
Right. And just because you're getting older
especially
doesn't mean
doing
you can't
things
have
like
fun.
this,
Yeah, exactly.
right, right,
Yeah. And now next
yeah,
time we're at the same golf tournament in Kalamazoo, we'll know what to do.
that's right. Selfie first, right?
Selfie first, then we'll play the golf game and have fun. Well, keep doing what you're doing.
That's
I,
right.
I like listening to the passion you have for coaching the kids and raising the puppies right. And I see what's going on in the USA and St. Louis and how the game's getting better and teams, players are getting better. And it's guys like you putting in the effort and caring about their players. So keep up the good work.
Yeah, no, like I said, I enjoy it, and thanks for having me. And look forward to seeing you in Kazoo for the golf tourney, or maybe in Vegas this year for the Frozen Four.
Wouldn't that be something? Oh God, I was trying to make it to St. Louis last year. I couldn't do it, but yeah,
That'll be fun.
we'll see what happens here. And this has been another episode of Two L's and Hockey Tales with Gainer and Wally.